Welcome to the operation video series of the Cyasin Duco Robot Intelligent Welding System. This demonstration will show you how to teach a multi-layer, multi-pass linear welding operation. Start by clicking the plus button in the lower right corner of the interface to create a new program. Once inside, we will create a simple linear weld seam. A linear weld requires 4 points. First, the start point, record the current position. Then, drag the robot to the arc start point and record it. Next, drag to the arc end point and record it. Finally, move the robot to a safe retraction point after arc extinction and record that position. The programming logic for multi-layer, multi-pass welding is the same as for a single-pass weld. The difference lies in the welding parameter settings, where you need to configure offsets to enable automatic multi-layer, multi-pass welding. Next, add an arc start command at the linear weld's arc start point, and an arc end command at the arc end point. Then, proceed to set the process parameters in the weld seam menu. Click Process Settings, then select User-Defined Process. As an example, we will use a 2-layer, 3-pass weld. First, click Bead Editing. The horizontal axis represents the pass, and the vertical axis represents the layer. A 2-layer, 3-pass weld means the second layer has to weld passes. Click to 2 to generate this configuration, then confirm. After configuring the bead layout, click Process Edit. Here, you need to edit the parameters for each pass individually. Start with the root pass first layer, first pass. Select 1-1 and click Process Edit to enter the parameter settings. As shown on the screen, parameters specific to the root pass will be displayed. You can now set the pre-arc and arc initiation parameters. For example, set the current to 150 amperes and the corresponding synergic voltage. Then, configure the welding parameters. Select constant voltage mode with synergic adjustment. Set the current to 260 amperes, voltage to 5%, and travel speed to 30. If oscillation welding is required, enable the oscillation welding option. Finally, set the arc closing parameters, such as reducing the current to 150 amperes, and click Save. The root pass parameters are now configured. Next, set the parameters for the first pass of the second layer pass 2-1. Select 2-1 and click Process Edit. Note that there are 2 sections to configure for this pass. The first is the interpass information, the offset of this pass relative to the root pass. By default, the weld coordinate system defines the welding direction as X, while the Z-axis in the world coordinate system requires offset adjustment. Using the right-hand rule, you can determine the offset in the Y direction. In this case, we set a Y offset of 6 mm and a Z offset of 0.5 mm. Regarding travel angle and work angle, the work angle depends on the workpiece and can be adjusted as needed. In this example, since we are welding a fillet weld, set the work angle offset to 15 degrees for the second pass. Start and end retractions are used to avoid starting the second pass at the same point as the first. Here, we set a retraction of 5 mm. The actual value should be based on real-world conditions. The electrode stick-out does not need to be modified. This completes the interpass settings. Now, configure the process parameters using the same method as for the root pass. Set the welding current to 270 amperes, voltage to 5 volts, and travel speed to 30. You can also adjust post-arc crater filling and gas post-flow time. Click Save to confirm the settings for Pass 2-1. Next, set the parameters for the third pass, Pass 2-2. Select to 2 and click Process Edit. The offset for this pass is also relative to the root pass. Set the Y offset to 3 mm, Z offset to 4 mm, and work angle to 5 degrees. Since the second pass already has start retraction, we disable retraction for the third pass to avoid overlap at the arc start points. The process parameters are set in the same way. Click Save. Now, the interpass offsets and process parameters for all 2 layers and 3 passes are complete. Click Back and save the program. The robot is now ready to weld according to the configured path and parameters. Additionally, the multi-layer, multi-pass welding interface offers more detailed settings. Under Weld Seam Settings, click to find the Multi-Layer Multi-Pass option, then click Edit. Here, you can make further adjustments for each pass. For example, if confirmation is required between the first and second passes, enable the Interpass Confirmation switch. After completing the first pass, the system will prompt for confirmation before proceeding to the next pass. This allows time to inspect the weld quality. You can also set an interpass delay time, such as 1000 milliseconds. After finishing one pass, the torch will return to the safe point, wait for 1 second, and then start the next pass. Another useful feature is the Skip Pass option. If welding is interrupted, you can mark completed passes as skip. And the robot will resume welding from the first and finished pass. For example, the interface may show that welding will start from Pass 2-1. Click Finish, then Back and Save to confirm.